Hi, welcome to Spec Hunter. I just spent the last few hours testing the entire iPhone 17 lineup, and this year feels very different. Apple has launched the regular iPhone 17, the thin and stylish iPhone 17 Air, and of course the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Maximum. Last year's event felt slow and uninspired, but this time Apple has reshuffled everything. The lineup feels fresh, and for the first time in years, it changes how I think about the iPhone family. Let's start with the regular iPhone 17. At first glance, it looks almost the same as the iPhone 16. The buttons are in the same place, the camera layout hasn't changed, and the design feels familiar. But once you turn it on, you realize this is no longer a standard iPhone. It feels much closer to a Pro model than ever before. The display is the first thing you notice. The body is the same size, but the screen is larger at 6.3 inches compared to 6.1 on the iPhone 16. That's possible because the bezels are thinner than ever. And this time it's not one of those tiny changes where you need to look carefully to spot the difference. You can see it immediately. The thinner bezels make the phone look modern and sleek. Apple has also improved durability with a new ceramic Shield 2 coating. They claim it is 3 times more resistant to scratches. Realistically, small particles in your pocket will still probably leave marks, but it's good to see Apple pushing the protection further. This display is also much easier to read. Even in bright rooms, it holds up better than older models. That's because the iPhone 17 now reaches up to 3000 nits of brightness, the same level as the Pro models. On top of that, Apple has added an anti-reflective coating, something we've never had on an iPhone before. This reduces glare, making everything easier on the eyes, whether you're indoors under bright lights or outside in the sun. The big change is promotion. The iPhone 17 finally supports up to 120 Hz refresh rate. Scrolling feels smoother, animations look more fluid, and when the phone is idle, the refresh rate can drop down to 1 Hz for the always-on display. For years, people criticized Apple for keeping the base models at 60 Hz. It became almost a running joke. This year, Apple finally gave in, and it makes the phone feel much more premium. The cameras have also taken a major step up. The ultra-wide lens has been upgraded from 12 megapixels to 48 megapixels, bringing it in line with the Pro models. This also improves close-up macro photography, since the same camera now handles it with better detail. There's even a new feature that lets you record video using the front and rear cameras at the same time. You can drag your face cam bubble around, and it shows up in the final recording. I'm not sure how often people will use this, but it's well executed and fun to experiment with. The front camera also gets a surprise upgrade. It now captures 18 megapixel shots instead of 12. More importantly, the sensor is square. This means you can take vertical selfies or horizontal selfies without worrying about how you're holding the phone. The shots are wider, sharper, and more versatile. Apple also added Center Stage, which lets the camera track you during video calls by zooming out and following your movements. For years, Apple held back the base iPhones to make the Pro models look more appealing. This year, that has changed. The iPhone 17 feels almost complete. The only major thing missing is a telephoto lens. Apart from that, the phone is loaded with Pro-level features. Apple also worked on battery and performance. The iPhone 17 charges faster than the iPhone 16, and Apple claims you get up to 8 extra hours of video playback. It's powered by the new A19 chip, which delivers around 20% more performance. That might not sound huge, but combined with efficiency gains, it makes a difference. Storage has also doubled. The base model now starts at 256 GB instead of 128. And the price? Still $799. No increase at all. Honestly, if I bought an iPhone 16 at full price, I would feel frustrated right now. Next, let's talk about the brand new iPhone 17 Air. This is Apple's boldest move in the lineup. They've tried filling this middle slot before. First with the iPhone mini, which didn't sell well because people didn't want small phones. Then with the Plus, which also didn't take off. Now Apple has tried something different. Instead of shrinking or stretching the phone, they've made it thinner. And when I say thin, I mean shockingly thin. The first time I held it, I was stunned. At 5.6 millimeters, it's thinner than a pencil. It's even thinner than Samsung's Galaxy S25 Edge, which was already known for its slim design. Despite this, it doesn't feel cheap. The glossy titanium rails around the edges and the ceramic shield on the back give it a strong, luxurious feel. The iPhone 17 Air is clearly designed for people who want style. It's for someone who doesn't want just the basic model but also doesn't care too much about having every single feature. For that person, this phone feels like magic. But thinness always comes with trade-offs. The battery is smaller than on other iPhones. Apple calls it an all-day battery, but that's a vague promise. The fact that they've already made a MagSafe power bank just for this model says a lot. Even more telling is that when Apple shared its official battery life numbers, they included the power bank in the calculation. That doesn't inspire confidence. Still, Apple claims the new A19 chip and the dedicated N1 chip make the Air just as efficient as the iPhone 16 Pro. If that turns out to be true, it will be impressive. But I'll wait for real-world tests before I believe it. The compromises don't stop there. Charging is slower compared to other models. The phone has only one speaker, which feels outdated in 2025. And the camera system is cut down. Instead of two rear cameras like the regular iPhone 17, the Air has only one. It's a solid 48-megapixel sensor, but still, one camera on a $1,000 phone is a tough pill to swallow. To me, the Air feels like Apple's version of the MacBook Air. A thin, stylish device that sells because of its design, not its feature set. Apple knows people will buy it. And it will probably do very well. But for most users, I don't think the compromises are worth it. Now we come to the Pro models. The iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max feel different this year. Apple has focused less on looks and more on function. These are the most Pro models we've seen. The first big change is thickness. Both phones are about 8% thicker than their predecessors. That might sound like a negative, but it allows for much bigger batteries. The iPhone 17 Pro now lasts up to 33 hours on a single charge. The Pro Max can reach up to 39 hours. That's a massive jump compared to last year. And as a bonus, the thicker Pro models make the Air look even thinner by comparison. The design also changes in other ways. For years, iPhones have had glass backs to allow wireless charging. But glass traps heat, which hurts performance. This year, Apple switched to mostly metal backs, with only a small glass window for charging. Combined with a vapor chamber cooling system, this makes the Pro models far better at managing heat. Another surprise is the switch from titanium to aluminum. 2 years ago, Apple bragged endlessly about titanium being lighter and stronger. Now they've quietly gone back to aluminum. Aluminum is lighter, conducts heat more efficiently, and is easier to color. That's how we now have the first truly bold Pro color in a while, a striking bronzy orange. Personally, I think it looks fantastic. The better cooling, combined with the new A19 Pro chip, delivers serious performance. I tested gaming on the iPhone 17 Pro, and it was the smoothest mobile gaming I've ever experienced. Graphics were detailed, gameplay was fluid, and the phone didn't heat up nearly as much as older models. This should also help with charging speeds, since overheating often slows charging. And hopefully, it means no more sudden screen dimming the moment you step outside on a sunny day. The cameras also bring meaningful changes. The front camera has the same square sensor as the iPhone 17, letting you take vertical or horizontal selfies with ease. But the big change is in the telephoto lens. Instead of a 12-megapixel 5x zoom, the Pro models now have a 48-megapixel 4x zoom. On paper, it sounds like a downgrade. In reality, it's an upgrade. You no longer need to zoom all the way to 5x before the telephoto lens activates. And the higher resolution means sharper photos, even when you zoom further in. Altogether, the Pro models feel like serious tools. They're thicker, tougher, and better at handling demanding tasks. They might not look as sleek as the Air, but they perform better in almost every way. And that wraps up the iPhone 17 lineup. The regular iPhone 17 is the best. Value, packed with features that used to be reserved for the Pro models. The iPhone 17 Air is a stunning piece of design, but it comes with compromises. The iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max are the most professional iPhones we've seen, focusing on performance, battery life, and cooling. Interestingly, Apple didn't talk much about Apple Intelligence during this launch. Instead, they focused on hardware improvements. And honestly, I prefer that. After years of small updates, it's refreshing to see real changes in the design, performance, and features. This is one of the most exciting iPhone launches in a long time. Apple has finally shaken things up, and no matter which model you look at, there's something worth paying attention to. For more videos, please like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss an update.